everyone, today I am going to be doing a picture from this book. This is Autumn Harvest by Teresa Goodridge. I thought I would choose a Halloween style page from here. So this one here, it's really cute, I think. So I'm not a fan of scary Halloween pages, but this absolutely isn't. So we have gnomes and cauldrons and trees and all sorts of things like that. I'm just getting some paper to pop behind the page. Now, this book was given to me by Mary, and Mary colours with Polychromos, and she has this book too. So I thought I would colour in Polychromos, so it's nice and easy for Mary to follow along. But if you don't have the Polychromos, I do have comparison charts in my Ko-fi shop, so you can have a go. You can, you know, hopefully find the pencils that you have got and follow along. I'm just trying to get all of the tree. I'm going to start with this tree. I'm going to start with a lightish brown, not too light, but I'm going to use the nougat, colour all the tree just over with the nougat, and then we'll add some darker brown to add a little bit of shape to our tree. Now, there's quite a lot of fun little details in this picture, but it isn't too complicated. I've certainly coloured much more complicated pictures than this, that's for sure. And there are some bits which are like this here. See the owl? He's got lots of details drawn on him, but you don't have to colour in each individual feather. You can just colour over it. It's up to you. And I'm also wondering, is this a gap in the tree? Or is it, you know, can we see the sky through here? Or is it a dark bit, like a little hole, you know, within the trunk, but the bark is behind him, if you know what I mean. I'm not, it's early. That's all I can say. It's early, sorry. So I'm debating which way to colour that. I think it might be easier to not do it as sky, because then we don't have to remember to put a little bit of sky in there when we do the sky, although it probably won't be that hard to remember, to be honest. Excuse me. But I think it might make more sense. I'm just going to sharpen my pencil and find my sharpener. It might make more sense if it's sort of he's sitting inside the tree and we can see the back of the tree behind him. So I can hear my son and husband nattering downstairs. They're both up a bit later than me. One of my boys had to get up and get out the door at 7:20, so I got up early and got his lunchbox and stuff and made sure he was organised. He was not in the best of moods, I have to say. He was okay, but he doesn't like getting up early. He was, there was a debate going on with in a Discord server he's part of that he wanted to contribute to, and he was doing that while having his breakfast, so he didn't really talk to me very much. I don't even know what lesson he's got this morning, but he'll be back later this afternoon anyway. But that was him. And actually, it reminds me, I just need to go and get my tablet to keep in touch with him, just in case he needs something. There we go. He usually lets me know when he's on the train or when he gets to uni. The train's not quite due yet at the station, so yeah, it's just nice to make sure he's okay. Just trying to work out what's going here. I think this is the rim of the hat, so go around the outside of here. Now, the way these pictures are done, the outside of the items are in a little bit of a thicker pen than the details on the inside, which makes it a little bit easier to sometimes work out what's going on with all the details. Now, this style is quite cartoony. It's not so real, but it doesn't matter. I know some people I think really non-colorists, to be honest, can get a bit snobby about pictures, and it's got to look real, and it's got to be this and blah and that. Like, it doesn't matter. I have seen the most amazing colouring work done on the simplest of pictures. It really doesn't matter, and even then we have to remember that it isn't a competition. It's not about doing a piece of work. This is the walnut brown. I'm going to do all around the edges with this, like here, and then fade. So a darkish line here, and then fade it in towards the centre of our tree, but not massively in, just a little bit. I'm hoping to give it a little bit of shape. It's not a competition. It should be about fun and enjoyment. Yes, it is very satisfying when you've completed a picture that you're happy with, but I'm not always going to do that. I completed one yesterday, and I looked at it and I thought it really looks like it needs more work, but I know that if I put more into it, I'm not going to enjoy myself, and I don't feel like I can improve it. Even then, I made the mistake of having a look at someone else's completed page of that particular picture, and it looked amazing. And then I was like, I don't like mine anymore. It's a really, really silly thing to do, to be honest. And when I go away and come back and look at it another day, I'm sure I'll like it. But it was just like, oh look, they did this and they did that, and you know. But anyway, it's all. I want to leave it because I'm not going to enjoy myself if I keep fiddling with it. And I don't think, to be honest, that I can really improve it that much to make it worth the effort. So I'm going to move on to another picture. And what I find very interesting is that you may find this too, if you do it. When I put my pictures up on social media, sometimes certain pictures get loads of likes and comments and things like that, and some pictures don't. It's fine. But the ones that get the most likes and comments aren't always the ones I expect to get the most likes and comments. I might do one and think, well, that didn't take me very long. It was really quick, you know, simple and whatever, and people love it. And then I do one and spend ages and hours, you know, days on it, and no one really seems interested. It is quite fascinating. And the point I'm trying to make is that sometimes, you know, putting in lots of effort doesn't always impress everybody, and it shouldn't be about that anyway. But just do what makes you happy. It's so important. There we go. Just putting a bit here to put a bit of texture into that tree there, and the same along this edge of this grass. A bit of shadow behind it, really. Yeah, I was looking at Instagram this morning, and there was an absolutely gorgeous picture of a witch from Tales from Witch's Cottage, and I was like, oh, that's lovely. So what I did with that one, I'm not going to be colouring that particular picture for a while. So what I did was I sort of picked it apart, not in a nasty way, in a nice way. And I had a look at it and think, what is it that is making this picture look so absolutely amazing? So I looked carefully. I'm going to use this dark brown to do behind the owl. So I looked carefully and I thought, well, the background colour is really warm and I like that. So I think partly it's that, the colour choices that I like. Everything is really neat. Now I can't colour neatly. I don't have that neatness. So that was impressed me. The background was a sort of transition of colour from brown to orange to yellow, and it was so smooth. I don't know how they achieved it. Now, if you look at this tree trunk here, we've got little knots. Can you see here and here and here and here? And I'm going to colour these areas in with my darker pencil, because quite often when there is a knot in a tree, it's slightly sunk into the bark a little bit. So the idea is to just make them look like they're slightly sort of sunk in a bit, like that. And we've also got these sort of lines and things drawn on. What I'm going to do with those is sharpen my pencil and just go around them a little bit with this darker colour, just again to add a little bit of texture to our tree, because tree bark is not smooth. So if we use these lines that have been put on for us to help us to create a bit of knobbly texture. Like this. Yeah, I'm going out later. Just looking at the weather, it looks quite dark out. There's a market. There's a Monday morning vintage market on. We have one every Monday in our town, in the marketplace. Well, we've got 2 marketplaces in our town, in one of them. And I asked her if she had any buttons, and she said she would bring some. So I'm going to go and get some buttons. Now, I found this, I was looking on Etsy. Why was I looking on Etsy? I can't remember. May have been, oh, I was looking at Agatha Pop's pages. I was looking on Etsy because she had a sale at the weekend. Well, a long time ago now. This video goes out anyway. Yeah, I was looking on there, and I found these little Christmas trees made out of buttons that people were selling. And I looked at it and I thought, I've got some buttons. I could make those. So I got out all my buttons and I made one, and I was really pleased with how it looked. And I thought, I want to make some more, but I haven't got the right size buttons. Because basically it's so simple. You take 3 buttons of the same size that are, let's say, brown, and then you take a large green button, then a smaller one, a smaller one, a smaller one, a smaller one, and then you get your slope like Christmas tree look, and a few at the top. Then you put a star on the top. I put a bell on the bottom. You thread it all through with with cotton, so that, you know, through the buttonholes, and you've got a little Christmas tree. And I decided I would make a few to decorate my Christmas presents with. But I didn't have the right size buttons. I made one with black buttons, and it came out really well. But I made another one with multicoloured buttons. It was okay. It wasn't quite so good, but I just didn't have any of the others of the right size. So I was hoping I could buy some green buttons and do it in green. I thought it'd be fun. It looked like a Christmas tree. I've also seen them made. They make snowmen. So you do white buttons mainly, and you start with a sort of medium one and then get fatter, larger, and then go smaller again. Then at the neck you do a coloured one like for the scarf, then you go out again for the head, and then you do a few straight ones for a hat, which you do say black, and then say the same colour as the scarf, say a red one, and then a few more black ones. They look good. But I thought I probably won't do snowmen. I'm trying to decide on a colour for my leaves. I'm just going to grab some colours that I like. Permanent green olive. So I'm going to do the base of the leaves with permanent green olive. And then we'll put a May green or something on the tip. Look at this spider. I might do all the leaves the same because they look the same. There's some more. There's only a few. There's a few here. Look, here, here, and here, and they all look the same. So I'm tempted to do them all the same. I'm sorry I'm so zoomed out, but what I'm doing I don't think is too tricky to copy, and these leaves are all over the page, so I'm just going all over the place. Yeah, this is quite a fun page compared to the one that I've just done that I said I wasn't very happy with. The other one was, I don't know, something about the fact that it was, the way it was drawn made me think I had to do it really perfectly in a certain way. Whereas because this one is light-hearted and fun, I feel like I can colour it any way I want and it doesn't matter. I don't know if that makes any sense. But anyway, I've got a simple one lined up to do next for my, while I'm editing this, so that'll be good. A bit later on today. It's just finding a few Halloween bits and pieces for you. I won't be doing many more Halloween pages. I've got a page from Small Victories to do. I might put it out before this page. I haven't decided what order to do it in yet. I'm getting a bit ahead, which is nice. So I'm colouring really fast, I'm aware of that. But I am doing the same thing all the way through. So, yeah, I've got some plans. I want to get on with some of the Advent stuff that I've planned for you, the Advent freebies. I spent sort of a day doing some stuff and then I sort of stopped, and I need to get back to it really, but I've got to get up to date with videos. I've got a bit behind, I think, because uni started and I was sort of trying to organise everyone and everything. I had various bits and pieces to do, but now I've been looking at my schedule and I haven't got many days out. This bit here I think should be brown, tree colour. I'm just going to do it. So this is our nougat. Just put a little bit in there. Like that. Yeah, so I was sort of organising people and things and getting myself back into a routine and that sort of thing. So I haven't really done tons of videos, but I have actually just finished all my morning videos for the whole of October, and it is the 7th. I've got really ahead with those, which is fantastic. I've also got another week's worth of afternoon ones done, and so yeah, it's going really well at the moment. Husband is gonna be taking some time off work. Well, he told me he'd be taking the first week of October off, but seeing as it's already the 7th and he hasn't had any time off, I'm assuming he's not. He's rubbish at asking for holiday. Rubbish at it. I don't know why. I don't know if it's a man thing or what, but he was saying he's got so much holiday he needs to take that he's gonna have to. I can do this sort of stem of that one as well. Now I'm just looking carefully to see how many I've missed. I think I've got them all. So at this point I'm going to switch colours, so if you need to catch up, I should pause now, catch up, and I'll grab the May green to finish them all off. So basically do all the tips with this May green, try and burnish it down if you can. I'm actually finding the Polychromos sit really nicely on this paper. You can get a really nice burnish look with quite minimal effort. My tree isn't quite so burnished, actually, looking at it. Maybe I could go back to it, but I don't know, it might be fine. See, I think that looks really pretty. I hope the recording isn't too dark. I find that everything looks a bit grey on camera. I've got my light on. My light is, I think it's on daylight setting, and the window is right here, and it's the blind is open. It is quite a dull morning. Looks like it wants to rain. Typical Monday, autumn Monday morning, rainy. So it's all okay. I don't really know why it seems to look a bit grey. But anyway, but I hope everyone's doing okay, that you're all well, and that you're doing some colouring, or you've been doing some colouring. Let me know in the comments what you've been colouring. If you've been doing Halloweeny stuff, autumn stuff, or just general things. Now I could make these leaves a little bit more autumnal, couldn't I? Put a little bit of something on the tip to give them some autumn colour. Like, you know, a little bit of orange or red on the tip of the leaves. I think could be good. Just noticed you've got stars and moon. It's night time, isn't it? Oh well. I don't know what colour we should be doing the things if it's at night. It should be a bit darker. But anyway, I'm just doing things, colours I like. Why not? I haven't really decided how long my video is going to be from this page. It's hard to know. Because, you know, you think, right, let's split it into videos that are of an even length. It's definitely going to be more than one. But if I start my first one at 45 minutes, let's say, and then my second one's about 42 minutes, and then I've only got like 20 minutes worth left, then it's sort of uneven. It's always a bit, it's a bit hard to know quite what to do. But anyway. So we're going to, I'm trying to decide whether to use a red or an orange or something in between. To finish off all these little leaves. Maybe I'll do them differently. That's a good way to do it, I think. So I'll do the ones on the tree in a different way to the other ones, and then they'll look a little bit different to each other. So I am going to grab the sanguine. I think that would, I'm just going to sharpen it and use the sanguine for the tips of the tree, the ones on the tree. Here is the sanguine, and we'll do these. So just put a bit on the end. Suddenly just gives us an autumnal look and feel. If you'd rather keep them just green, that's up to you. It's just a tiny touch that just brings a little autumn feel, I think. And the other ones, what colour should we do? I was thinking maybe more of an orange, but not a terracotta because it's really close to the sanguine colour. So maybe maybe an actual orange, like a cadmium orange. I'm not sure what's going on there. Just going to colour in. Yeah, maybe that'll work. I'm not very happy with the finish on this tree. I want to go over it with another colour, and I'm trying to think of what I can put on it that will burnish it better. I quite like it to look a bit warmer, but then it's got this sort of greyed look at the moment, which is probably right. But no. Here we go, cadmium orange. I'm going to use that on these leaves. Yeah, hopefully it'll show up. Yeah, on the tips. You might have to layer it up a bit to get it to show up. It doesn't look that different to the ones on the tree, to be honest. But I think it just helps to give an autumn look, which is nice. And there we go. My goodness, I have been colouring pumpkins every day for the last week, I think. Yesterday I coloured 3 pages with pumpkins in. Pumpkins everywhere. Right, what we're going to do with this tree, I could... we could go with a yellowy colour to brighten it, but I'm not sure about that. I think, yeah, I'm just going to grab this. This is the raw umber. I want to put this over the tree. just too, it's just not burnished enough for me. I want to make sure I try and leave the sort of darker areas that I've put in, so there's still some definition between the edges and the shadows and marks on the bark. If I end up covering those over, I will go back over them again. But I just want it to be slightly more burnished in. I could just see too much paper. But if you're happy with how yours looks, you don't have to do this. It's just me being a little bit fussy, I think. I don't know. You have a look and see what you think, whether you prefer it with this layer on or not. It's warmed it up a bit, which wasn't necessarily what I was looking for. I maybe should have gone back over it with the nougat. It would have kept it looking a bit grayer. But yeah. There's the moon. Apparently we've got 2 moons at the moment, so my children tell me, going around the earth. And I was like, oh, how big's the other one? Is it huge? Can we see it? Is it going to block out the other moon? They're like, Mum, if it was that big, we'd all be dead. I was like, oh, okay. Right. I'm just going to grab the dark sepia and do a little bit of shadowing around here. I'll come in a bit closer now I've done that. So I want this this bit to have a dark sepia edge around it, so that it just looks like there's some depth in there, and we've got a cracks or something there, like that. There it is. And around the edge of our owl, there, just a little fussy detail. Now we might as well colour our owl. He's right in the middle, isn't he, of our page. Let's have a think. I'm thinking we want him to stand out enough so we can see him. So we could do his beak quite bright. So his beak and his feet, we do them in light yellow ochre, really bright, in a sort of way that owls don't have. But, you know, that's okay. And maybe we could do him in... yeah, if we colour him in the burnt sienna, I want him to be brown, but he'll stand out because it's a very different colour to the browns that we've used so far. So I'm just going to make his wing quite light and then sort of put some lines. So I want him to look like he's got feathers. Like that. Like on his... Now his hair, his face would be much smaller feathers, I think. So just going over that lightly. They'll put a few little lines, you won't really see them, like that. And then on his chest we've got these ones drawn on. So we put a darker bit on the top and less at the bottom. So just layer it up a bit more near the top. And then less as you come down, and you get a little feathery look. It's a little bit fiddly being so small. Make it a bit darker down there. There he is. Now I don't know about his eyes. Would they have colour? I think yeah, I'm going to grab actually this cadmium orange that we're using on the feathers. No, sorry, on the leaves. Get it right in a minute. And I'm going to sharpen it around the pupil, just a bit of an orange circle, but leave some white. Like that. I think that's okay. Right, now we've done our tree and our leaves. Let's look at this mushroom. It's great fun. I love it. I am going to start with the Venetian red and just do all the area that isn't circles with a sort of medium layer of pencil. We'll be coming back and doing more with it. It's just getting a little layer down to start with. It's a bit fiddly, isn't it, working in between all these little big circles actually. Really big. Is it the only mushroom we've got? Yeah. That's okay. Right, I'm going to switch colours. I will come back to that colour at the end to tidy it all up. I'm going to go with my burnt carmine, and I'm going to partly do a bit of darker work at the bottom. So just put a layer like this and just sort of fade it to the top. So it's a bit darker at the bottom, like that. Then I'm going to use this to put some shadow underneath each of our circles. So put a sort of quite an intense line underneath each one. Now I realise I've gone over the line so our white doesn't look white, but I'll deal with that in a minute. Like that. And now I'm going to go back to my Venetian red. I'm going to give it a sharpen. I'm going to go back over all of that just to tidy it up. And work my way slowly up. And then here I'm going to start to fade, so do less layers, just tidy it up. You might not need to tidy yours, just so that we are covering all the paper, but not so many layers. So it does look darker at the bottom and fading up to the top. Now our circles, I don't want them to just be white. I think I'll use a warm grey. This is warm grey 3. I don't know how easy that is to see. Almost impossible, I think. Put some colour at the bottom of these and then fade it up. My desk is creaking away. So we've still got some white at the top of each one. Now I'm going to do this stem. So really build up the colour there and fade it down towards the middle. That. And the gill part I'm going to do a bit darker. I quite like the idea of doing it in brown, but I think we'll stick to the grey, seeing as we've got our brown tree. I'm just sharpening this one, which is the warm grey 5, and I'm going to go along the edge of each dark bit and fade it over. So a long bit here and less as you go towards that side. You can do them in either of the directions. We'll go this way. Now I'm going to do the grass, I think. Now let's come out so you can see. Oops, the whole of the bottom. There we go. So the grass is here and here and here. I'm just wondering what that. Oh, that's unknown cloak. Okay, so what colour? Well, I quite like the idea of doing the earth green yellowish to match in with these, but I think it might be a bit too, yes, actually that's what I'm going to do. Earth green yellowish first. Now colour your grass in the direction of these sort of spiky bits. Now don't push down too hard because we're going to put another colour on as well. I think a sort of vertical stroke will help it look more like grass, although this is sort of sideways, isn't it, the way it's drawn, sort of scribbly lines. I'm getting thirsty already. What time is it? 8:30. Seems a bit early to get a second cup of coffee, doesn't it? But you know, sorry, my tablet decided to go to sleep. I'll put it back on. Now I think it might be a bit darker underneath the cauldron here. There'd be a bit of shadow. Now, oh, it goes all the way up to here, look. Grass makes sense, doesn't it? Got little wagon wheels to colour around. I love this little wagon. So cute. We don't really have this sort of thing going on. You know, I know you have sort of pumpkin patches and things in America. We don't really, just started doing it. I think some farms and things do it to, you know, try and get people in, make a bit of money, and, you know, get people spending money in their farm shop. Good for them. But not really a thing. So I'm grabbing the chromium green opaque, and I'm going to add in some strands. See where it's drawn here? And there. So where we've got bits drawn, I'm just going to add to those zigzaggy marks. I think there'd be quite a bit under here, be a bit darker. Okay, nothing too complicated really. Now how are we doing? Oh, we've been going a while. Let's just do, let's do the signpost. Fancy doing the signpost. So I'm going to choose some different browns to the ones that I used earlier for the tree. So I'm going to start with the bistre, and I'm going to do it in a similar way to the tree though. Just put down a layer of bistre first. I've just noticed a leaf, it's actually on the pumpkin though. How did I miss it? I knew there was one that I was going to miss. It's always the way. I'm going to put this on a little more thickly than I did the nougat over here, because I don't necessarily want to do another layer. Now the writing on the signpost I feel might be in a different colour, so I think I'm going to try and colour around it. son's run out of chocolate actually. He often has a little square of chocolate, particularly in the morning before breakfast. But my other son hasn't, so do I buy them both some? Not sure. My one son seems to always gain chocolate when it's when he sees his friends. One of them always seems to give him a couple of big bars of chocolate. I think she gets given it and doesn't like it, so she gives it to him. So he's very lucky. But my other son still got some birthday chocolate left over. It's a bit smooth this at the moment, but we just get a base colour on. I'm not sure what colour to do the writing. And it could be just sort of embossed or engraved in the wood, but I think that won't stand out very much if we just leave it wood coloured. It'd be quite nice to make it stand out, I think. It's quite fun. So I think probably better to do it in a bright colour. Now, Halloween colours, what do you always associate? We obviously have orange for our pumpkins, and I usually think purples and bluey greens, sort of witchy colours. I don't know. But I did see something the other day and it was pink for Halloween. Colour things in pink. An interesting idea. I mean, this guy's got a little sunflower on his hat, which is interesting. So it has some yellow in this picture. I might leave the writing for a bit and see what other colours we've got. I mean, we could do it multicoloured, and then that would be nice and bright and fun. That's another alternative. We could do it orange and green and purple and pink or something. Reds. Sure, really. I also have to think about what colour I'm doing the background, because I'm going to have to think about that soon, because I need to make sure that I don't do colours that are going to mean that what I'm colouring disappears into the background. I was thinking of doing it in pencil, but I don't know if I'm being a bit ambitious. There's quite a lot of background. These Polychromos work quite nicely on this paper. Right, let's get a burnt umber and do a bit of detailing. I'm going to start at the top here with this knot, and then go around these lines here and here, and all the ones that are drawn on here. Now there'll be some shadow here where this sign is, and particularly underneath here we've got more lines which I'm going to colour over under here as well. And under here I'm going to sort of finish the post, so go over all the lines in that knot, just around there, a bit of shadow where the pumpkin is. Oops. Then this bit here, bit underneath. So I'm really just going over the lines. I'm not doing anything that you can't see. There's guidance there. There we go. I was wondering whether to put some shadow under the words, but I don't think so, because I think they'll be painted on, so they won't have a shadow underneath them. We do have 3 nails there. I'm going to grab a cold grey for those. I'm going to try and leave the top bit white to make it look like they're sort of silvery. Now the words, I might just do a purple, mauve. I just think I'm just going to colour them in mauve. Going to layer it up quite a bit so it's quite solid. Take a little bit of time just to get all the saturation. So the paper's got a little bit of tooth. I always think of tooth in the paper like sandpaper wearing down your pencil. And this is quite dark, and on each letter you will notice there's a letter drawn on top of the letter, this black line. What we're going to do is we're going to go over that in a white pen so that we've got, it stands out. I had thought about using a pink pen, but I don't think pink will stand out enough. My pink particularly, not any old pink, but the ones that I've got. So I'm going to use white. The white will stand out a lot. I'm just going to sharpen my pencil. It's taking quite a lot of effort to get enough layers to make it quite solid, but I don't want to press really hard into the paper. I have got some blank paper behind it. It's single-sided, but still I don't want to get into the habit of pressing hard anyway. It's not, I don't think it's a good habit to have. I'm just trying to decide actually whether to outline the letters in white or just go over that centre bit in white. I think I'll just go over the centre bit because the outline, like this bit, has got a really dark line. It'd be quite hard to cover in a white pen. It'll just look a bit grey. I think if I just do the actual lettering bit, I think it'll look better. I was just thinking it might stand out more if it had a white outline. I think it's quite cool the way the word witch is spelled wrong. It's quite fun, isn't it? And before I get my white pen out, I am going to tidy up this wood a little bit. I'm going to grab the bistre. Now sometimes around the letters I haven't got quite close enough. It's a bit messy or a bit sparsely coloured. I'm just tidying it up. Yours may be absolutely fine. Not need you to do this. There we go. Now white pen. Here we go. Jelly Roll 10. you might need more than one layer of white pen for it to show up really well. Just depends on your pen how well it's going down and how new it is as well. A newer pen will show up better. Mine seems to be showing up quite well to start with and then fading back. Which is interesting. But you might think, well, what's the point of colouring all that in and going over it with a white pen? Well, you could try and leave a white gap, but I would find that very difficult. I find it easier to colour it all evenly, well, as evenly as I can, and then put pen over the bits that I want white, rather than trying to leave a white bit, which you could do either below or above the white line, the black line, sorry, that's there. But I think it's, for me, it's much easier to do it this way. You may have a preferred method. Okay, yeah, I think that's okay. I don't think it necessarily needs another layer. Now I sit back and look at it, I'm okay with that, but I am going to make that do for today. I think we've done a fair bit, and I need to go and get a cup of coffee. So there we are. I've got to think about that background. I've got quite a few more details to do, but yeah, I'm having a lot of fun, so I hope you're enjoying the page. Thank you for watching. Hope you have a really lovely day today. Hope you get some fun colouring done, and happy colouring.